What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Now, in today's first Entitled Parent story, an entitled Karen at a talent show gets really annoyed at the winning contestant, who, by the way, is a 14-year-old guitarist. Now, her daughter sings in the talent show, but unfortunately, unlike the guitarist, doesn't win. So instead of just accepting that defeat, what does she do? Well, she accuses a 14-year-old boy of faking being a guitar player. He can't play guitar, he's faking it. I've been browsing this subreddit for a few days now and decided I get my fair share of entitlements. I'm 14 years old and live in the Netherlands. My father is Dutch and my mum is Vietnamese. I've been playing guitar for over 5 years and I really enjoy doing it. My dad listened to a lot of Dream Theater and I grew up with that. I play a lot of progressive metal. This happened last year before COVID came. I was almost 14. We had this talent show in the second grade of middle school and I decided to join. I played The Endless Knot by Haken, a great song, with a little improvised solo in the silent piano part near the end. There were no real awards, but it was mostly for enjoyment. There were like 10 other participants. 6 of them were girls that sung, 1 group that danced, 2 comedians, and 1 other guitarist, and I won. I was really happy, and the other participants were really nice. I personally found 1 comedian hilarious. He had some good jokes. A lot of parents actually gave me a standing ovation, and it was one of the best moments of my life. Unfortunately, my parents weren't there because of work. One of the girls that sung was crying that she didn't win, and her mum, the entitled mum of this story, came to comfort her. I didn't get her award, and the talent show was just for entertainment and fun. But this entitled mum was so mad that her daughter didn't win. She went to the jury and said that I'd faked my guitar playing, although I practiced a lot for it. I got on the stage and she followed me. She started accusing me of faking it in front of everyone. At first, I thought she knew the song and that it's being played on a 7-string guitar. I used an Epiphany Les Paul with single coils and 6 strings. I played the lower parts just 1 octave higher, and it sounded fine. But she never said anything about that. She also said that a guitar could never make such sounds, and I explained that it was plugged into an amplifier with my self-made pedal board. After that came this ridiculous conversation. "How dare you make my daughter cry with that faking of yours," the entitled mum said. "Mom, I didn't fake my playing. But a kid like you could never play something like that. There's no explanation. You're faking." Obviously, she didn't have any real arguments. Why would I participate in a talent show without an award and fake something? After that, she went a little quiet. Then she said, "Then prove that you're not faking it." So I played a few ladders at high speed and the solo of the song without the backing track. At this point, the audience was agreeing with me and they told the woman to please leave the stage. After that, she got onto the whole Satanism thing. Now, I was wearing a Tool shirt with a kind of graphic back, and here is a picture of it. Okay, so as you can see, they're not that... Are they satanic? I wouldn't know they were. Yeah, the design on the back is a little weird, I guess, but I wouldn't say it's satanic. And even if it is, who cares? Well, apparently this entitled mum, who said, "Because you're a Satanist." What? I don't understand how this is relevant in any way, by the way, guys. Yeah, I see that shirt. It's pure blasphemy. It's a banned shirt. They aren't even satanic. I don't believe it. You're gonna manipulate us all with that devilish music of yours. I'm not manipulating anyone. I'm just doing this for fun. F off you, insert racist Asian slur that I don't want to translate. Go back to your devilish worships. Now I'm getting really annoyed at this point. I'm not a Satanist, and also don't call me that. But the entitled mum just says the same racist Asian slur again to me. The judges then asked her to please leave the stage. The daughter tried to stop her mother, but the entitled mum kept going. The daughter got really embarrassed and ran away. The entitled mum looked at me and said, "Look what you've done." She then approached me and tried to punch me, but I just pushed her away, and people began to actually drag her away from me. While she was dragged, she was screaming even more racist Asian slurs. She was ultimately banned from the school, and I never heard of her again. The daughter eventually confronted me at school and apologized. I accepted the apology and we became friends. I went to her house a few times actually, but I never saw her mum. I never actually asked what happened, because I didn't even want to think about her anymore. And that was my story of an entitled parent. Thanks for listening. Well, a classic case here of a parent getting jealous because someone else's kid is more talented than theirs. Seen it all before, pretty standard stuff, but I guess it does happen a lot, that's for sure. To be fair, this parent might actually genuinely be a little bit embarrassed and jealous of this kid because they're young, right? 14 is not old, and to be that talented at that age is very impressive. Honestly, I reckon the parent is looking at the kid going, I have never been that talented at any musical instruments in my entire life, yet this guy is 14 and is just absolutely dominating and has won the talent show for being incredible. I'm going to make them feel bad about themselves because that is what I want to do. Strange. And now moving on to our next story. You can't fire me. I have kids. This was many years ago when I was the shop steward for a union. This means I was the one who had to mediate grievances between employees and management. So, the manager calls me to discuss an issue with an employee he wanted to fire. He had done progressive discipline, had given her many chances, and now was just done. The issue was, the woman just didn't want to show up for work. He told me how many chances he had given her, and he wanted me present for her termination notice. That termination notice went like this. The manager said, "Entitled worker, do you know why I asked for this meeting and why I asked the shop steward to be present, OP? No, I have no idea. Well, you were supposed to work yesterday from 8 AM to 4:30 PM, and that was written on the schedule, correct? Yes, but I overslept. Yes. And when you didn't show up for work, I called you several times, and you didn't answer. Well, I couldn't hear my phone. I overslept, but when I woke up, I called you. That's true. You called me at 10:45, almost 3 hours after you were supposed to be at work. Yeah, but I called you as soon as I woke up. Yes, and you told me that you would be in to finish your shifts. I did. I came into work as soon as I could. You showed up at 2:30. That's over 3 hours after you told me you were on your way in. Oh, but I couldn't find daycare for my kids. Didn't you already arrange for daycare because you knew you were on the schedule for 8 AM? Well, my daycare won't let me bring the kids in late. Look, we've had this talk before, and I've given you several warnings that if you can't show up for work when you were scheduled, I'm going to have to let you go. That's not fair. It's not my fault I couldn't find daycare. No, what's not fair is having your co-workers forced to work double shifts because you don't show up to relieve them. Finding daycare for your kids is your responsibility. If you want to work here, you have to be able to show up and work. You can't fire me. It's FMLA, which is Family Medical Leave Act, that states you can't be fired or docked pay if you're staying home to care for a sick family member. Well, were your kids sick? I thought you said you overslept. No, I overslept, but I can't leave my kids without daycare, so it's FMLA. At this point, I step in. Excuse me, I would like to help you here, but if you just don't show up for work, there's no way I can save your job. You've been given more warnings, reprimands, and extra chances than our contract requires, and I don't have any grounds to grieve this termination. It's FMLA! I had to stay with my kids. You can grieve this under FMLA. FMLA only applies if your kids are sick. You just overslept. FMLA, it's because of my kids. I can't leave my kids. FMLA, you can't fire me, she went on and on. Okay, I think we're done here. Here is your termination notice. We're going to ask you to leave the building now. Security will escort you to your locker to clear out your stuff. FMLA, I have kids. You can't fire me if I have kids. Security then shows up and she is escorted to her locker and out of the building. All the while screaming at the top of her lungs, "They fired me because I have kids. I'm going to sue all of you. I'm going to own this business. You're all going to be fired. I have kids. You can't fire me because I have kids." I can't believe what I'm reading. That is the main thing about this. What is she even saying? Unfortunately, no one explained to her that having a job wasn't all about us agreeing to give you a paycheck. You actually have to show up for the job and do the work. She tried to protest her firing, was denied unemployment, tried to register a complaint against me with the union for failure to represent, the manager for sexual discrimination, and the business for failure to uphold FMLA. You just can't fix bulletproof stupid. For clarification, she had done this same stunt without the FMLA component 5 different times before this. Just what? Show up for work 5 times and she still had her job. I think she still believes she was screwed over on that FMLA thing. Was this woman's argument genuinely, I have kids, you can't fire me? I don't know why I'm asking you like that. It was. I read it out multiple times. She kept saying it for some reason. Imagine if that was actually like a legal thing. You have kids, so you can never ever be fired. I'd have 5 kids right now, working 5 different jobs, and I would never go to work, guys. I'd just, just be chilling, earning the money for doing no work, that's for sure. And be saying, what are you going to do, man? Boss man that's paying me? Fire me? I have kids, man. You can't do that. Do you not know the law? Weird. Imagine if that is how the world worked. It'd be pretty backwards, but at least this woman would be right. I mean, seriously, I've never seen something as stupid as, I've got kids, so you can't fire me. How brain dead can one individual person be? That's got to be up there for me. Like, what the actual heck is that? Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. I hope you have enjoyed it. Honestly, speechless for once in my life at that last woman. If you do want more right away from me, I can't promise that you'll see more Karens in these 2 videos that are as stupid as that one was, but hey, be my guest to check them out. If you are new, please do subscribe to the channel, and I will see you all tomorrow with a brand new video. Wow.